Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Creators Podcast. Currently, I'm here with Rock Sentinel and Miss Stabby. Today, we will be talking about games, mostly recent games, but also a lot of old games. How have you guys been?
Doing pretty well. It's hot.
Yes, still hot.
It's yeah, I'm with him. It's hot. Otherwise, okay.
Yeah. How's the weather in your country?
Still hot, but probably less hot than in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Mm,
When it's hot, you need to drink something. Even when it's not hot, I advise you to drink something. But now you need to drink a little more. Oh, yeah. Let's start off with the first subject of today. Which will be favorite recent games. So, anyone who would like to start with their favorite recent game? Come on,
Please, not
Uh,
everyone at
uh,
once.
I guess I could start.
yeah, sure.
It's maybe not super recent. I've been keeping up with too many super recent games, like less than a month ago. But I've been really enjoying Killing Floor 2 lately.
Mm,
It's been getting updated a lot, so I've just been enjoying playing it.
yeah,
Cool game.
we play it together. It's
Yeah.
it started off as something that was a little bit questionable, but while slow, the devotion that the company behind it has shown has been nice. Basically every season, because they do seasonal updates, you'll get at least one new weapon. It just helps keep it fun,
Yes.
sorta. Yeah. Have you guys ever
Sometimes
played
even new
Killing?
game modes.
Have you guys ever played Killing Floor 2?
I have not. I have heard of it though, but no, I've never actually played it.
Mm.
Played it a long time ago,
It's pretty
but
good.
not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think. No, wait. Actually, I think I actually played it back when it was still an Unreal Tournament mod.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but
right.
we
That
we
must have been
have
really
too.
long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been really long ago.
We're big fans of the first one, the mod, and the new one. But the
Okay.
only issue that the new one has is that it doesn't have the amount of content that the old one has, and the old one
Mhm.
was overall the maps were nicer.
The old one has been in development for so many years.
Yeah.
I think like I think roughly 5 years in development. So it's to be expected.
Yeah. It's a good game though. If you haven't checked out Killing Floor 2, they do free weekends from time to time and big discounts. So try it out. Okay. What about you? Any recent games you'd like to recommend?
Well, recently, there's actually two games that I really like that I've actually that caught my eye recently. The first one being Horizon Zero Dawn,
Yeah, you told
made
me.
by the guys in Guerrilla, in Amsterdam. That one is, it's certainly one of my if not my most favorite open world game I've ever played. Just from the world design, gameplay, it just feels like it feels like a fresh take on the open world genre, and it really feels like it's trying something different, even though the gameplay might be somewhat it's been done before.
Yeah.
But just the combination of the setting with the robotic dinosaurs and the tribal setting and everything, it's really cool.
Mm.
Like I finished that game twice now, and
Also the
played through the
DLC?
DLC. Yeah, DLC as well. It's really good. Really high production values too. Great voice acting. It's not a game I would have expected to come out of the Netherlands, to be honest. And
Yeah.
this
On
is
a
me
technical
saying that as
level,
as a game dev in the Netherlands.
on a technical level, it's also very high quality. Like the way that they render out the clouds in the sky and
Mhm.
the rocks
yeah.
on all the vegetation and do everything procedural, the animation systems. It's
Yes.
well made.
It also helps that a lot of people I know have actually worked on it. So,
Same
but
here.
What I've
That's
what
pretty
I've
cool.
seen from it is that it's promising, and it's certainly something special. I've never played it myself, but
mhm.
from what people have told me, is that it's a great stepping stone for something even greater.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say that there's definitely a bit of sequel bait in there.
Yeah.
But that does not diminish the fact that the game itself is like really solid. Like I spent a good, I think on my first playthrough, like a good 60 hours, and that's without the DLC.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not bad.
Yeah, my
But
second playthrough, I went for full
Yeah,
everything, and
exactly.
that took me much longer. But yeah, no, that I love that game.
Mhm.
And then the second game that recently caught my eye is Warframe.
Warframe, yeah. The dev
Be
team
careful
behind
though.
that is really something else. They
Yeah, they actually listen to their fans.
yeah,
You
and
know,
they
such a strange concept.
what I liked, I read a news article a while ago where they explained that they had introduced a microtransaction gambling style mechanism, but
Yeah, I know.
it was way too addictive and it was making them a lot of money, so they completely revamped that because they didn't want it to be like
Gambling.
a gambling
Yeah,
machine,
they didn't want to be
Yeah,
a casino.
which I find
exactly.
really respectable.
Mhm.
And you know, also people have like when people ask about features, like stuff in terms of their monetization scheme and stuff like that. That's they do actually listen to their fans. Like for example, recently, okay, well, what they usually do is they put like a certain number of warframes, the prime versions of those warframes. They're only available for a limited time.
Yeah.
And after that, you either get them through player trading or maybe through some deal that shows up again.
Yeah.
The thing is, what they sometimes do is they put like a prime access package. So a Warframe that's been out of the rotation for a while, a Warframe that's out of the rotation for a while, they can then get that Warframe, but you couldn't get any of like the special sorry, no. For the people who already had that Warframe, but didn't get all of the special skins for it, like the special the Sindana, like the special cape or special attachments for the body that are only unique to that Warframe. You wouldn't be able to get those separately. So people complained, they listened, and now you can get those things
Yeah.
as a separate package. You couldn't do that before.
No.
And I mean that's just one of the examples of what they do. Like if people they actually listen to their player base, which you know is a strange concept
Yeah,
nowadays.
it's a strange concept for a big company. Big
Yeah.
companies,
Oh,
if
that's
you
the thing.
listen, people like that. People like it
Yeah.
when big companies listen to their player base. I'm
Mhm.
looking at you, Destiny. But yeah.
They're a big company that
Destiny,
doesn't listen. They don't hear
EA.
you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Like, hey, the players found something fun to do. Let's patch it out.
Yeah,
exactly.
let's make people pay
That's
for activities that were free in the previous installment.
yeah. That's the thing about digital extremes. They listen to their players, and most of the other big companies they listen to their shareholders.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's good for the players or not, well,
Well,
they don't seem to care.
I have a little bit of a story. I play tested one of their games, but they pulled it out of commission.
Which games? Well, which
The
for who? For,
the next game of Digital Extremes.
oh, okay.
They were working on something new, and I was an alpha tester. But they canned it. It was a
Yeah, I've heard that.
shame because it was
I
really
heard that
fun.
they've been trying. I heard that they've been trying to restart that same project several times over.
Yeah, but just something off about it, but the concept and the art style and the theming was very good. I hope they do something with it because it was promising.
I hope so too. To be fair, like I do like. Well, I do hope that they continue working on Warframe though, because I don't know if you've seen the recent like updates that they're going
I've
to like
never
the stuff that
been
they've
part of
announced.
Warframe. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, the thing is, it's first of all, it's free to play. So,
Yeah. And they're very,
but
very persistent about that.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you can, like, they are constantly adding new stuff. Like last year, they added in what's it called? They added in Plains of Eidolon, which is basically a giant open world area, which was completely different from what anything that they had before. Because first it was all like a tile based generated
Yeah,
world,
segments.
and then yeah, exactly, and then it would completely like procedurally reconfigure them for every level, which was cool and all, but it gets a little stale after a while. So
Yeah.
instead, they just open up. Here's a giant open plains area where you can quest and
That
where you can do
that is
missions and you can
very
fight
interesting.
giant robots.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea, well, the impression that I've always gotten is that they're trying to do what Destiny didn't.
Well, no, that's the thing. Warframe came before Destiny.
Yeah, but then they went open world and stuff.
Well, yeah, true, but yeah, I guess,
I
But
think they're just
the thing
trying
is,
to
it was
set
only
things
one area.
straight, and they're doing it
I don't
really
know.
well. Because
Yeah,
people
true.
obviously want it, but they can't have it because the companies who produce those things usually don't listen.
Yep, exactly. Plus, there's also the other, like they recently they announced this big update that's coming later this
Yeah,
year. That's
TennoCon
also
was a bit ago, right? Yeah,
yeah, it was I think last week.
yeah.
But yeah, no, they have like this another giant area this time on Venus, I believe,
Mm,
where you can play. And here's another thing: this is the big new feature that they're adding: space battles.
yeah.
Like you can actually get into a spaceship with multiple people on board, and then have events like there's one person flying the ship, another person fighting off borders, and eventually like the other person jumping out of the spaceship. You get on your Arcwing and then fly to another spaceship to wreck it from the inside.
That
It was super impressive what they
that's
had.
nice. And when is this
It is.
slated for release? Because that sounds really interesting.
Well, the space battle thing is probably going to be either December or like early next year.
Oh,
That's
that's
what they said.
that's that's nice. It's not like
Yeah.
a 10-year project.
No.
Mhm.
Like they had it playable and stuff in game at TennoCon.
Oh, that's
So it
great.
wasn't
Okay.
just like a cutscene or anything. Like they were playing a full mission
Then I might
with it.
look into that game. I
Yeah,
might
and
look
then
into
recently
that.
they had and then like the big new open world, the second planet that where you can run around. That's coming probably in the fall. At least that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really impressive what they've done.
Yeah, it's like an MMO, but not quite. It's really impressive. I've
Yeah.
seen it because me as a bystander, I've seen it grow from like, oh yeah, here's whatever this is, and I was like, oh, this looks nice. But back when I played it, the entire connection system was really finicky, and I couldn't
It
connect with
was.
any of my friends, so I just left it be. But the gameplay and the
Plus,
mechanics were really fun.
yeah, true. And plus, the thing is, like when I first played Warframe, like the UI was a giant mess. I couldn't figure out how to do missions because it was really obtuse as to what you had to do, where you had to go, what you had to click on.
Yeah,
It didn't make any sense to me. And they completely overhauled everything. Like the game now is completely different than what it was back in 2013 when it first came out,
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that game is like it's an anomaly in the video game industry these days. Like it's free to play, the content is actually interesting. The developers actually listen to their fans,
Mm-hmm.
and it's working out for them. Like they're having success with that game,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just weird that it's actually that it's an actual thing that people want. I mean, not so much that people want, but that it's actually successful for them. Because it goes to show that what these big companies, they get all like the bad press. Oh, they're
Yeah,
shitting
but
out another
you
sequel
know what
this
the
year.
problem is? You buy the big companies are trying to do it, but with a $60 entrance barrier, and it doesn't
Mhm.
really work like that. Like you can either
No.
go like Warframe, where you can unlock anything you want by playing, no exceptions, or
There are some exceptions. There are some exceptions. You can't get everything, but that's usually the user generated stuff.
yeah. But
Mhm.
like a lot of companies currently you have Fortnite, which is free to play, but you can buy like a battle pass. But now
Mhm.
PUBG wants to get in on that, so they have a priced game plus a subscription service, and
Yeah, it's been
people
tried
are
before
not
with
happy about that.
I think it's been tried
Yeah.
before with I remember something like Battlefield Premium or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that
They
was
tried
for
to do something like that
maps.
before. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
well, it
yeah.
was for extra maps and extra weapons and stuff like that, and you would get it over a period. And basically, you'd end up paying. First, you buy the original game, and then you want Battlefield Premium for another $60. And
Yeah.
then they went for, and if the game was doing well enough, I think with Battlefield 4 they did this. You got Premium Season 2, and you had
Yeah.
to pay another $60.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh
like
god.
that because I
Mm.
was like, yeah, Call of Duty tried that, and I saw
Mhm.
like a Black Ops Pass, and I was like, oh, so it's just a season pass, and then you had
Yeah.
Black Ops Pass Season 2, and I was like, hmm.
Wait.
Hmm.
Same
No,
issue I
not doing
have with
this.
Rainbow Six. Like Rainbow Six is pretty good game. It's getting better and better as they
Hmm.
progress, but it's just very expensive. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's you can technically unlock just about everything by just playing the game, but it takes it with all
It
the new
takes
operators they added. It's gonna
ages.
take
Yeah.
such a long time. Yeah, and the netcoding isn't really like getting any better either.
Yeah,
So that just puts veterans
they
off
have
a lot.
uh a pinpoint accuracy game with Microsoft Azure servers.
Yeah. Just about everything is peer-to-peer, and it's lag compensated in such a way that whoever goes around the corner first essentially wins. So the game
Mm.
it isn't really about like holding angles or defending doorways. It's more like just like peek around the corner then go back, peek around the corner then go back.
Yeah.
It's created a
Yeah.
whole new game, and it's not really something that I like.
No, because Rock and I we played it rather fanatically for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I've played it a little, but it's
that's
not my
cool.
not my kind of game.
That's cool.
Mhm.
And what about you, Stabby? Let's get you in on the conversation. Oh,
Stabby?
Yeah,
Oh, there you
Oh,
are.
is
I'm
this-
still
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I never left.
I never. I asked you what's your favorite current game?
Current one. Well, currently I've been playing this a lot, but it's not really a
What-
game. More like a platform.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, I played a lot of Subnautica,
Yeah.
and then actually in desktop mode, I still have to try it in VR. But
Oh.
You don't want
it
to.
started out okay.
You
But started
really
out
don't.
going like, oh no, I need air, I need food, I need water, and in the end, it's like, let me bring my submarine to my other base at the other side of the
Yeah.
world, and like transporting amount of like resources and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
So yeah,
people are always
pretty
like,
cool.
"Oh, it's not underwater Minecraft," but it kind of is. At least from what
except for
I've
that you
played.
can't, yeah, Except for that, you can't interact with the environment as in building in the environment.
No,
Like you
but you
can put down
can
bases and
construct your own
modules.
bases. Yeah,
Yeah, you can put down
Mhm.
modules, but those are bound purely to the blueprints.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
You know what? You
mhm.
know what really frustrated me, and I like that's the moment I was like I'm done with this game, is when I started base construction and there were
Mhm.
no snaps. So if you placed three different lockers, they'd be on three different heights.
Yes, it's not
True.
OCD
I
friendly.
did not like
But
that. And
but
then
then
you
again,
but the yeah
uh-huh. Mhm.
um
You can use your OCD to get them in place.
yeah, but it shouldn't be like that. And the worst
Hmm.
thing was you
Yeah.
need to build a base platform, and like the main lobby bay
Hmm.
construction part doesn't align with the base platform.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I never bothered with the base platforms.
uh because the base platform is 4x4 and the entrance is three
Yeah.
by three, so yeah, that just bothered me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I liked really about it is that it had a very good atmosphere. Like, especially once you get a bit further into the game, you discover some really cool surprises.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's really cool to discover those surprises that you the first time you go down and it's like, huh, what is this? And then the music starts, and yeah, it's really well managed.
Yeah, it's
Like I went
Mhm.
into the game also pretty much blind, so for me the surprises were actually already like real surprises. So that was quite cool.
that's nice.
Hmm.
Okay. Um I haven't played many games lately myself.
Mhm.
How
But
could that be?
Yeah,
I
why
Yeah,
would that
I
be?
wonder why.
like aside
Mhm.
from VR chat, I've been very busy and hot.
Yes,
Well,
same.
well,
um,
Hot.
technically,
Mostly
a game
hot.
I've been playing recently a lot, but more like in breaks during the during lunch break, is Toxic, which is like an
oh yeah,
arena shooter in the style of Unreal
Oh
Tournament
yeah.
2004.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I've
Yeah,
seen you
yeah,
play that.
like
Yeah,
I've heard
both the
about it.
movements and the weaponry and even some of the maps are really reminiscent of Unreal Tournament. Like no
Oh, that's
classes,
cool.
no unlocks, no leveling. You just have
Play.
grab a
10 weapon
gun
slots.
and go.
You grab the guns
Mhm.
from the level, and if you're hurt, you go find a med kit and no like
No
recharging health and
nonsense.
shields
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Uh,
So
So
I
Makes
yeah,
me
love
all
arena
it's really
nostalgic.
shooters.
enjoyable.
yeah,
I
but
love
Yeah, me
arena
too.
shooters. I've always played
but
them a
we
lot
Yeah,
as a kid.
like
we
I've played Quake the Quake 3
champions. Oh
Champions yeah
yeah, no,
Champions
I
Elite
don't.
Okay.
also recently,
I don't like
but
that
I
one.
like the pacing of Unreal Tournament a lot better. It's of I
Yeah.
mean also Toxic, like there's no classes, no unlocks, no loot boxes. It's just load up a server and start playing and start shooting
Yeah,
people
but
in the face with
Yeah.
a
we consumers don't want
sci-fi
that.
weaponry.
Just like single
Mhm.
player campaigns, we don't want that. So shut
No,
up.
we need a sense of pride and accomplishment.
Yeah, we
You
need
know,
Yes.
we need battle royale BioShock.
Yes. But
Yeah.
and premium
how
passes.
Yes.
how active is
We
Toxic
don't
these
need
days?
Battle
Because
Royale.
I've seen
Shock.
it around. I like arena
Yeah,
shooters. I've been thinking of getting into
it's
it,
not
but
a
how
whole
active
lot.
is it?
It's not a whole lot. They have like the certain days where they do planned events, I believe.
Oh,
But
okay.
what I know is like their bots are really on point. So you can even with the bots you can still have a good time.
Oh, okay.
Like back when Unreal Tournament was the thing, like I played
Yeah.
countless matches against bots as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Same.
And like if
Mhm.
the bots are competent and actually are good at scaling with your own level, it can
Mhm.
still get quite exhilarating and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An interesting thing is they actually show you and keep track of a skill level, both during your match and also like your general skill level.
Mhm.
So basically, you just see like your skill level raise up, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I do think that Unreal Tournament 2004 still holds up really well as a game.
Yeah. Same for the old one though. I mean, we've had so many.
I do
It
think
might have been
that
a few years ago, but
the
we've played that so many
weapons
times.
in the
Mhm.
original are not that evened out. There's a few things that
They're more
I'm not
balanced
too
than
fond of.
Armored 2004. I think is worse in terms of balancing because it's basically hit scan tournament. Shock rifle owns everything.
Fair enough.
Well, not
True.
not really, but like it comes close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though then again, I did enjoy the Insta-game matches a lot.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah.
You aim well, you make the kill. No worry
Yeah.
about management of arcs and damages and stuff like that.
Just
Mhm,
point and
shock
shoot.
combos and
Yeah. Oh,
Just
shot combos were fun though.
Rudy 2D point and shooty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running
Like,
around.
You hit, you get the kill. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's good.
No time to
click adventure.
kill or yeah. Use gun on man.
Yeah, use
Yeah.
gun on men. How do I shoot weapon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But yeah. Next one. Favorite classic games. Anyone want to start with that one?
Favorite classic
Yeah,
games.
and when I say classic, anything before 2010 goes really. So
Alright. Well, I mean, I'd like to return to the arena shooter, but like just for
Yeah.
briefly,
yeah, no,
arena
sure.
shooters as well as Serious Sam is something I've played so many
Yeah,
times.
just
Same here,
Lakuza,
same
stupid
here.
shoot games. Yeah,
yeah,
they are great.
Lakuza actually mentioned in the chat as well. Euro Tournament 2004 with mutators, invasion mode, RPGs. So I can't tell you how many hours I've spent on online servers just playing with the RPG mutators. So much fun.
Mhm.
Actually, persistent leveling, even though overpowered as hell, it
Yeah,
was still super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Euro Tournament was great, especially with some weird mods.
you know, Minecraft got a lot more fun once you turned it into an RPG. I really like.
I remember that.
Yeah, I could just grab like a wooden shovel like back in the day and just go, and an entire desert would have been gone.
I still remember those good old days when we would just make giant towers for people to just break their legs on every time to train their falling.
Yeah, there was a certain set
I
amount
mostly
that you
enjoyed
could
like building nuclear reactors and watching them like blow up half the map after the cooling would fail.
I once transferred an entire desert.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The server owner was not happy about that. They were just like, "Oh, this desert should be moved over here,"
Yeah,
and then it did.
I liked the desert, but I also liked to live like near one of those giant chasms. So
Mhm.
so I moved the desert from across the river over to the chasm.
Yes.
And the fun thing was, if you came from the spawn towards my direction, there was just dry land, like post-apocalyptic desert land. And then there was this
Yeah.
beautiful lush desert with trees and cacti and a swamp on the other side of the river.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Classic game.
Yeah, classic games. Another one that I really liked was Serious Sam, which I played a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Just super great game altogether. One of the games I probably put the most hours into.
It was really great to go back to those games in VR.
Yeah. I love the VR re-releases, even though they're a little bit expensive. They're just good.
Like you spend years upon years pointing and clicking with your mouse, and then now you can go into the game and smash a Gnar with a fucking sledgehammer, and it's so satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I still find it amazing that I haven't seen any of those suicide characters in VR chat.
Oh,
I need to make one
I
then.
haven't.
I should make one. Yeah, that's a good point. I've never seen one of those. It should be easy enough to make, right?
And you could make him explode with a gesture.
Yeah. Just walk at random people and then just explode.
Yeah. Maybe
that'll go over well in public worlds.
Maybe even use a screen space shader that like that renders across the border of your screen to show that your health is low.
Yeah.
That might get annoying, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's all about the gag.
Rip in public.
You, Sentinel, what's your favorite classic?
My favorite classic.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up between Unreal Tournament 1999 and Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear Solid. I played
Interesting.
both of those games so many times.
Faxnor,
Like I think I
Faxnor in chat says Snake on the Nokia is the best game.
Best classic game, yeah.
Hard to argue
mean,
with that
Hard
one,
to
right?
argue with that. We all played that.
yeah, good old Nokia 30. What is it? 3310.
Yeah, 3310 and 3311. Those are the bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bricks that never die.
Still
still have
work.
them.
Still work.
Still
Yeah,
work.
crazy.
I still have one laying somewhere in my cabinet.
Same.
With Arctic
Yeah.
lights.
But yeah, no, I think I'd have to go for Metal Gear Solid because I don't know I prefer single player games over multiplayer
The
usually.
first one? Or the
The
entire
very first Metal Gear
series?
Solid. Well, pretty much just the first one and the re-release of it, the GameCube.
Yeah,
Those
Twin
are
Snakes.
pretty good. Twin Snakes, yes, that one.
Yeah.
I really like that game. I played that so many times. Like I think, like the original, but I think it was like 8 or 9 when the original came out. I played that game. I finished it like 15 times. Like it had one of the well, probably not one of the first games, but first games that I played. It actually had like if you finish the game, you get a bonus the next time you play it around. It's kind of like a new game plus mode, but different. So if you finish it the first time, and if you didn't save a certain person, you would get. I think if you didn't save Otacon, you would get the. Anyway, if you did save Otacon, then you would get the stealth camouflage for your next playthrough, which made the game actually super easy because you could go invisible at any time.
Yeah.
And then later on, then if you go through it again, you got something else different. I think. Sorry, if you then saved another person, I'm not sure who you saved, but if you saved somebody else at the end, then you would get a bandana that would give you infinite ammo. And then if you play through it again, Snake would be playing in a tuxedo. And then if you played it again, like the Cyborg Ninja character had different colors, and like you kept going, and small things kept changing about the game, and eventually you just played the kind of a super easy but still pretty cool version of the game.
Yeah.
And I think I finished it like 15 times, and yeah. I didn't really like the story, the voice acting. Again, it's just one of those single player games that I like as a kid. I loved that so much. Like you don't know how many times I tried to make like a Metal Gear Rex out of Legos or Kinects and that sort of stuff.
Nice.
That's lovely.
I love that game
So,
to death.
nice.
And what
But yeah.
about you?
It's a hard one. Like Unreal Tournament's probably one of my favorite like arena shooters of the day. That one was amazing.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Sweet.
and aside from that, like if because that one was actually relatively late. Because before that there was another game that was really endearing, which was the Jazz Rabbit series.
Oh Jazz
God, I
Jackrabbit,
played those
yeah.
so many times as
Those
kid as
are
well.
amazing. Yeah.
Amazing games as well. I actually forgot to mention those, but those
Yeah.
took up so many hours in my childhood.
Yeah.
Did you
Which
know
are
actually those
also
are like the
Epic
roots
games.
of Epic Games and Guerrilla Games?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I knew they were made by Epic.
Herman
but
Hulst still worked on it. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's cool.
So
I think
Yeah.
he was an intern there, and when he was
Yeah.
working on Jazz Rabbit. Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. And the thing is, like, it's currently I think 20-year anniversary this year.
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah,
I feel old now. I'm not even that
Hey.
old.
get in line.
Get in line.
But
Yeah.
how'd you call it? No, it was quite nice and yeah, fun to see back then. It was basically the PC platformer. That probably on the consoles would have been Mario or Sonic.
Yeah.
The PC had jazz, and yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And it's
Mhm.
amazing soundtrack that you still see
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
for
don't
this?
recall. I played jazz. I played those games. The trouble is, I didn't get a PC until 2000. So before that, I was purely a console gamer.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay.
Well,
So yeah.
here's an odd perspective for me because I
Hmm?
actually only got a PC in 2004. Um and I myself only started gaming around the release of Spore, which is
Oh.
2007.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
My
I think
before.
no earlier than that. I think it's 2006, five or six.
Oh,
I
well,
think.
anyway, I grew up with the PlayStation 2. Um,
Mm.
so my favorite classic games, well, childhood games, that I could recommend to anyone are the first four Ratchet and Clanks. Tie the Tasmanian Tiger 1 and 2. Um,
I think they re-released that on Steam as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tie the Tasmanian Tiger 1 and 2 are amazing games. The people who made it are currently porting the second one to the PC, and the first one
Yeah.
is already being released. If you like 3D platformers with wacky Australian vibes, go check it out. It's great. The music, the
Nice.
voice acting, the scenery, it's great.
Yeah.
Um
That
and
reminds me actually of
and
the old Rayman. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Rayman. I played a lot of
Rayman.
Rayman. I miss those games. Just 3D platformers with a combat vibe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
because
I played the
sure
Rayman
we
games as a kid
have
as well. They're really good.
like we have Hat in Time, we have Ukulele, but that's just collectathon. I want combat to come back.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
Rayman.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
Rayman was. I have the first Rayman for PlayStation 1. That game is so insanely difficult, but I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
always love Rayman 2 tons more.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rayman 2 was amazing.
amazing.
The
Yeah,
transition
they
Definitely.
released
from
that for
The
so many.
soundtrack, the
the
movement,
transition
the
from
characters.
2D to 3D was just
Yeah,
flawless.
yeah,
You had
Yeah,
Rayman, and
exactly.
that's who he was. Yeah.
yeah,
Soundtrack was great as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. Super good soundtrack. Many
Yeah.
hours were wasted on that game as a kid as well.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
Lakusa knows Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Not a lot of people know that. That's good.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
of course, Jack and Daxter. Jack and Daxter was kind of the funny thing is Jack and Daxter was kind of the rival of Ratchet and Clank, but eventually they decided to team up in the combat racing game Jack X. It's really cool. But
Mhm.
Nice.
the issue was Ratchet and Clank had a very tight production schedule. They had to release a new Ratchet and Clank about every 2 or 1 year.
Every
A full
every 2
game.
years.
Yeah, a full
Mhm.
game in 2 years. And Jack and Dexter took it easy, took it slow. So while Ratchet and Clank 1 and 2 are great, 3 is a bit of a mess. Well, it's not a mess, but it's incomplete. And Jack 2 was incredibly refined, but all of them are great games.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I wish they would I wish they would actually remake like the Jack and Dexter trilogy. 'Cause I'd like to play those again.
Mhm.
Speaking of remakes, like of classic games, like I'm actually looking forward to the Spyro remake.
Yeah, yeah, Spyro. People were going mental about Crash Bandicoot, and I think Crash is fine. I don't really have a very big connection to Crash,
I
but
do.
Spyro, I always liked the Spyro games more because you had more freedom.
Mhm.
Yeah. I played Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, and that game was, yeah, I don't know how the ones before that are, but that game was incredibly fun. And then they tried to
Mhm.
reintroduce Spyro, but this new design sucked.
And then
Yeah, I
eventually
heard
the
about
whole
that.
thing became Skylanders, which
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
just
Well, it
a-
for
made them a lot
it's
of money.
not for us.
and it's not for us. True, but the thing is, they use a character that a lot of us grew up with.
Yeah, but
So
they
you want
kind
you-
of ditched the Spyro attachment because just
True,
Skylanders now. Yeah.
I know. Even though like they made a TV show and the main character is still Spyro.
Oh,
So-
here's facts. He says Oddworld and Frogger.
Oh, yeah,
I never
Oddworld, Apes Odyssey,
tried
and Apes
Yeah,
Oddworld.
Apes Odyssey, Oddworld, Apes Odyssey, Apes Exodus. Also, Ditto. So many hours. It's such good games. Really
Same,
good.
Same.
As
Really
a,
difficult though.
As a kid,
I really
the
need to
art
play the
style
remake.
always
Hmm,
kind of
it's good.
repulsed me.
What repulsed you?
Abe's art style.
Oh,
It wasn't
Yeah.
very appealing to me as a kid.
don't like the Blue Dragons? No, I love that. I love that game so much. It was so much
Yeah.
fun.
Hmm.
Like taking control of Slags and just
Yeah.
trying to figure out the puzzles in each world. It was great.
Super good puzzles. Trying to save everyone, ending up failing. Just saying, oh fuck it,
Yeah,
and moving
It's
on.
really
Exactly.
funny that Nintendo hasn't come up even once.
Yeah.
Just
I
wanted
know.
to
I
mention that.
I didn't
Yeah.
have a Nintendo console growing up.
Same
the only one,
here.
no, actually,
Same.
the only one I
Same.
had was my first Nintendo console was a GameCube, and I had like maybe 5 or 6 games for it. I barely ever played on it.
Yeah.
My first Nintendo
my-
and also last one was the DS Lite. That's it.
Uh,
I have a Switch now.
yeah,
but
I have a Switch now. I had a Wii, and I have
Yeah.
a Advanced SP, which is a great thing. It still works
I actually
really
played.
well.
I emulated in my childhood. I emulated a lot of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. I think the first Nintendo game I ever played was something like one of the Pokemon games for the Game Boy.
Mhm.
Pretty
think I
good,
still
even though I
played
didn't
that.
really understand it at that point.
Yeah.
Didn't really understand the game.
My
I think
my
back then I still emulated on like a 486 computer on DOS.
Oh Jesus!
my aunt and uncle had a Nintendo 64, but I didn't get a Nintendo console until the Advanced SP. But I used to
Mhm.
play the original Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Diddy Kong Racing, which is really good.
I love the soundtrack of Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I'm
Mhm.
Banjo.
And then there's another one that's really fun. Probably you played it as well. Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh
Yeah,
God, yes.
yes.
I think damn near everyone played that game at some point. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
But
was-
actually, since we're on the topic of Game Boy Advance, it might be a little bit more recent. Like I think like early 2000s ish, maybe a little bit later. The Kirby games on the Game Boy Advance, especially the Amazing Mirror and Advance Wars, were great games.
Yeah.
Never
Just
played them. I
Absolutely
wouldn't know.
great.
I did not get
Same.
into Kirby. I never did. I
neither.
They're pretty fun.
yeah,
Only
I
Tried
know
it on the emulator.
I know a few of the Kirby titles, the Crystal Shards and the new one, the Star Alleys, but I never got into it. Just not because I didn't like it, but just there's so many other things you have to keep up with.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Mhm.
The one thing I did like, I really like the art style of Kirby Epic Yarn though.
Yeah.
Even though I never
Oh,
played
yeah.
it, but I really like the way that looked. That was so cute.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up too much with the Kirby games because they're all super easy nowadays. So they're fun to play once and then never again.
Fun fact for you, because I too am a very big fan of the studio who did that. They also made Yoshi's Woolly World, which has the same fantastical
Mhm.
design work.
Art style.
That same company is working on a Switch Yoshi on Unreal 4. And
Interesting.
they've released a few trailers and it looks wonderful. Basically the theming this time around is going to be arts and crafts.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So it's gonna be
Interesting.
more like how'd you call it? Tearaway on the PS4 or the Vita.
I don't think so. To me, it looked more like Little Big Planet.
Okay. Well, Tearaway
yeah.
is made by the same studio that made Little Big Planet also.
Yeah, but I've
Media
never heard
Molecule.
of that. Tearaway.
It's a great game. Like basically the entire game looks like it's made out of papercraft. Like the buildings, the characters, even water effects or explosions or enemies, everything. It looks like it's made out of craft paper with glue and stickers and like tape, and it's amazing how it plays.
Yeah.
Because on the Vita, it takes basically all the inputs that the Vita has, like the back touch screen, the camera, the microphone, everything that the device had, and used it in a way that's nice and not gimmicky, so to say.
Yeah.
And like the story that they made with it was actually quite nice. Like even when finishing it, was quite a moving story. Quite nice.
Okay, here's Lakuza. Lakuza says Breath of Fire 5. I don't know that game.
Never heard of it.
Don't know it. I'm sorry,
Sorry,
Lakuza.
Yeah,
Sorry.
never heard of them either.
He says
sorry, man.
Time Crisis at the arcades. Yeah, well, we don't have arcades here. That's
No.
that's what I told. A lot of people have been
Welcome to
asking me,
Europe.
like, oh yeah, this and that on the arcade.
He's from the UK, so
but we
technically still Europe.
we don't have arcades in the Netherlands.
For now.
Well, for now, I don't think there's a.
Well, I mean,
I don't.
still continental Europe.
Yeah, true.
And it might be there, but they're like so rare that there's maybe 5 or something.
I think there's a. I think there's an arcade at the pier in Scheveningen.
Yeah.
I think that's
it's
about
like
it.
you really,
But
really have to search for one.
It's not like in
Oh, yeah.
America where you have an arcade in every city.
Yeah, true.
No.
I remember going to like one arcade in some it's a bird park. I forgot the fancy name for it in English. Ornithol something.
Uh,
It was a bird park. There was an arcade, a really big one as well. I did not expect that. Lots of old games that I've seen. Can't really remember what was in
what
there.
we
But
do
yeah,
have here is Spelhallen, which is basically like a big room with skee
Oh,
ball
right, yeah.
and air
Yeah.
hockey.
It's like the carnival kind of games.
Yeah, it's
it's
because
basic-
we don't have racing or street fight. Yeah, well, racing most of the time you do have racing, but no Street Fighter or anything like that.
it's like an arcade, except most of it is just like one racing
Physical.
game, one Dance Dance
Well, it's
Revolution,
mostly
and then the rest is
physical
just skee ball.
games. Yeah,
Yeah.
rather
or-
than
or
digital.
games.
Air
yeah.
hockey.
Air hockey,
Air hockey
air
as well.
hockey, or you know, the grabby claw and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
Oh yeah.
The grabby claw,
this-
press the button to drop the ball in
swindle
the
machine.
hole. Yeah.
Yeah, all those
Scam
machines are
machine.
those.
Pachinko, basically.
Oh,
No,
maybe
we don't have
Konami has a few
pachinko here.
nice ones.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't have pachinko here because they're not legal here.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't pachinko just like the regular gokautomaat
Well-
in the Netherlands?
Basically, but they're slightly different. I've never seen like an actual themed gamble machine like
we
that.
do. I do know we have a few gacha machines. Gacha machines are actually pretty common here in the Netherlands. They
What
just
are gotcha machines?
like you put a euro into the machine, you spin on it, and you get a ball with a thingy. That's a gacha.
Yes.
Oh, those, but that's something
No,
completely different.
but speaking of Japanese like cabinets,
Yeah.
gacha machines, gacha machines. Are
We even
pretty
had those in
common
our
here.
supermarkets.
Yeah.
We even have them
Yeah.
in supermarkets as well.
A lot of supermarkets have
Yeah.
or had those. Yeah.
Something I wish we had more were vending machines. I mean,
Vending machines. That's what we have.
we have the
Yeah, I think
the-
it'd be different types.
yeah different types. I mean, we have the amazing automatic.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Getting food from the wall.
Yeah.
Deep fried snacks from the
Deep
wall.
fried snacks
Yeah.
from the
Vending
wall. You know,
Like a
and
vending machine.
when
for
I look
fried
at
snacks,
these
yes.
kind of things from outside, one of my friends, G1, always says, the Netherlands is just one big joke, and I understand.
Yes.
I once told him about pannenkoekenboot, and he went mental.
Yeah.
Enlighten us. What is a pannenkoekenboot?
Yeah,
Because
a-
I'm absolutely not familiar with that.
Oh
It's
yes, of course.
yeah,
A
basically,
pannenkoekenboot is
Which you eat
basically
pancakes.
a floating restaurant
think of
where
a
they
floating all you
only
can eat
serve
buffet for pancakes.
but only
Oh.
pancakes. And
Yeah.
there's like rows upon rows of toppings, and you have to get a pancake from a rack from the wall. You pull the pancake out, and you put on it whatever you want on it. It's
Yeah, basically, you
basically
make a pancake pizza.
yeah,
Yeah.
create
Ah,
your
okay.
own
Yeah, sort of.
pancake. Yeah.
So
That's pretty
the
good.
downside is, like, at least from the experience I had with one, is that you can eat all the pancakes in the world, but like after one or two, you're like, I don't need more of those.
Oh, this is
Nope.
peculiar.
Yeah.
Faxnor says those gacha machines have been turned into the ones that only work with credit cards to prevent kids from playing. That's peculiar.
Excuse me.
Oh,
That's
But
peculiar.
If
that's
But that's the
kids
point.
are the
Who are they
only ones
for?
who want that shit.
yeah, like who are they for? Who
I
is this
don't know.
marketed to?
Well, in Japan, there's actually people who make a living from playing claw machines because you can get entire figures out of claw machines there.
Oh, yeah.
The
yeah.
classification price figure, you know, the 25 buck figurines, they come
Mhm.
from claw machines. There's people who study the claw machine and then
Oh god.
make a living by
playing
winning.
the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
That
go
sounds
like,
very
it pays out
Japanese.
every 13 players, and then like they just want to be number 13.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That sounds very Japanese.
Yeah, it is very Japanese. But yeah, what they do have in Japan, and I wish we had here, are like hot coffee vending machines on the street and hot meal vending machines on the street. So if I wanted a hot coffee, I could just get out of my door, put 50
Yeah, yeah.
cents into a machine, and have fresh coffee.
Yeah, because
Well,
you have those in
fresh.
universities,
Yeah.
colleges, and
Fresh.
workplaces, but you don't really have that just randomly on the street.
No.
It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to go to university then.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I'll live in a university.
Well, I mean, with this weather, it's not too bad. They have air conditioning.
That's fair. That's fair. Would the lunch lady also make me dinner?
No,
No,
I
she's
mean
a
maybe
lunch
if you
lady.
ask really nicely. If you ask really nicely, but they'll
then
probably
she'd
kick you
be
out
the
at 6.
lunch and dinner lady.
Oh, whoops.
Oh.
Yeah.
Seats are finicky. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Anyway,
good
what were
stuff.
we talking about? Oh yeah, we were originally talking about arcades.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
we pretty
Uh,
much said everything
yeah.
to be said about those.
Okay, next subject. Fortnite and its business model. Well, I briefly touched upon this. I frowned upon Fortnite before I actually played the Battle Royale thing. It's
Mhm.
really fun.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
played it.
as
I have it. I have the non battle royale version as well.
yeah. It's not that bad. And their business model is very nice. Like, even though you have to play quite a bit, you can earn back the in-game currency you spent on a season pass
Mm.
by just playing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is-
Or
that's pretty
you can
nice.
just earn it if you play enough. You can just earn it all together.
Yeah.
Without even paying, but
And
you'd have to play a
still
lot for that.
earn
But
more. Because
Yeah.
when you purchase a season pass, you can earn more premium currency than you spend on it.
Mhm.
But you just have to
Mhm.
play really long. But you have, like, I think 4 months,
yeah,
which is
something
fair.
like that.
Yeah.
Although to be honest, in Fortnite about particular, what I didn't really like the gunplay, so I probably won't see myself playing it again.
No, it's very peculiar because it's created by Epic Games, but the actual gunplay is really shitty.
It's just incredibly
Yeah.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I
There's
can
no
describe it
two
as.
ways about it.
Well, actually, it's not entirely made by Epic. It's a combination. It's two studios. I think it's made by Epic, and I believe People Can Fly.
Oh yeah,
Not
that makes
sure.
sense actually.
Oh, and they made how do you call it? Bulletstorm, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that was
they
such
had
a
good
success.
gunplay.
It's a collaboration between Epic and.
Bulletstorm was fun to play though. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
very popular, like in sales, but
No, but it was really fun.
the
It was.
story and the gameplay and the art direction was quite fun.
Now,
Like
speaking
it
Yeah.
was a colorful shooter. Like it had dirty jokes. It had
Mindless fun,
lots of-
basically.
yeah.
speaking
Well,
of
technically,
shooters,
you'd have to use your mind to create all the creative combos. Remember what you did. Remember what you still have to do, and then plan
True.
out your strategy to get all of them for the highest score. It's a lot
I
of mind game.
I really
Yeah.
like Borderlands too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Definitely.
You don't?
Same.
Not a fan.
Hmm.
Okay.
I've played a lot of Borderlands 1 and 2.
Yes. Same.
First of all, I don't like the characters. I don't like the art style. It's.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that in itself can be a.
Though I will
bothersome.
admit, Tiny Tina was funny for the
Yes.
first
Tiny
time.
Tina, yeah.
Tiny
it's
Tina
fun.
is
Yeah.
fun.
I
Yeah.
cannot fucking stand Claptrap.
No, but
Yeah,
I
no one
can't
can.
either.
That
I
That
do
thing
not-
just
That's the joke.
ruined the
I do
entire
not-
game
That's the
from.
joke
Yeah, but
of it.
for me, it's to the. It got
Yeah,
to the
but
point
it's
where it just ruined
like-
the game. I
it's
just
Yeah,
so,
but
I
like-
don't want to hear
Nah.
that stupid thing again.
in Borderlands
I was
2,
just thinking of
it
installing a soundboard.
lost the joke because people started admiring and loving him like unironically, and I hated that. Like everywhere
Yeah,
you
me
looked
too.
was Claptrap, and I fucking hate him. And then funny thing, in the pre-sequel you can play as a Claptrap, and that was really
Yeah.
funny. That was really
Hmm,
weird
I haven't
because it
played
was actually a likable Claptrap.
Yes. A likable Claptrap, I mentioned that. But yeah, Claptrap was made to be annoying, and even though that's the point, it doesn't make him any less annoying. The fact that it's the point.
No,
Yeah,
because in the end he's
Yeah.
still annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then people started liking him, and then just fuck off.
Yeah,
Seriously.
same thing with the fucking minions. Fucking minions.
Yeah,
I don't-
not a-
I don't like them. I like Despicable Me. I don't care for the minions. And they're everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
Everywhere.
Banana?
No.
I will torture you.
Hey, got it too.
And yeah, someone mentioned Rayman and its sad fate. I agree.
Oh yes.
But, and I'm gonna
What do
say
you mean
but,
it's sad fate?
I'll get into that. Hold on.
Mhm.
Rayman, Mario and Rabbit is really good.
Yeah.
Just
But
want
yeah,
to say that. Yeah.
Lakusa is right though. Rabbits kind of ruined Rayman a little because
Yeah.
Rayman
Oh, yeah,
3 was like the last
definitely.
good Rayman game.
And then they
After that, it just
they went
became
into
bad.
Rabbits, and like the first one was fun because they had a story, and Rayman is trapped in minigame hell, and that was
Yes.
the plot, and
Yeah.
it was fine. But then they stopped making Rayman.
Yeah.
They
It
just
became
went all
just
full
a
rabbits. Yeah.
rabbit.
Yeah.
Which are basically minions.
kill me.
Banana.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why when Lakusa said rabbits, I was like, yeah, but the minions are kind of the same.
Yeah.
I like
But-
the like the reboot of the Rayman stuff though, like with the UB art engine, the 2D stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
uh,
The
Rayman
Rayman
Legends
Origins,
is
or like
really-
the new one.
Really good. The Rayman
Yeah.
Legends.
It's
You
so
have Legends
creative. The
and
soundtracks.
what do you
Origins.
have? Yeah, Origins.
You had
Origins,
Origins and
yeah.
Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are so
the-
good. Those are
Yes.
The
really
design
good
of the
2D.
levels, the
and the-
theming, the soundtracks, different
Yeah.
movesets. It's
And
quite nice.
The seamless co-op.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes. I've seen it in action as well. At a friend's. Super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. A classmate of mine worked on
And-
Legends
Yeah.
and Origins.
Incredibly
Same thing.
challenging,
McIntyre,
Yes, that too.
yet not unfair.
Yeah.
I really like those. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I don't want 3D platformer combat Rayman.
Mhm.
No, I
Is there
agree.
a 3D platformer combat Rayman, or you mean Rayman
Yeah,
Arena?
Rayman 2, Rayman 3.
Yes,
Even
those
Rayman
kinds.
M
Or
was
Rayman
great.
M? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
with
Rayman
the
M.
You
did you
know what
never
we all
played
need?
Rayman
Like
M?
everybody knows
I
that
might
we're
have.
gonna need a Rayman Battle Royale, right?
Yeah,
No,
yes, and everyone's a glow box. Let's make it
Yeah, yeah.
happen,
no,
people. Let's go to
no, no, no.
Ubisoft. I want Glowbox Battle Royale.
I object.
Uh, well, it's all right if they get the teensy characters in there.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I would not be, but I
That would be
hope
amazing
that
character for
like
VR chat.
because Ubisoft knows Rayman sells. They have proven it time and time again with their new Rayman 2D franchise, which is great.
Hmm?
But I would love like Rayman 2 Rayman. Even
Mhm.
if it's a remake, I'd get it in an instant.
Yeah,
Yes.
a remake in the Snowdrop engine. That would be cool.
What's the Snowdrop engine?
It's the
um,
same one that powers the Division and some other games that are still in the works.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
That sounds like overkill.
it is.
Like
Exactly.
that sounds like overkill as an engine.
No, I think
then again,
if they're gonna do
that's a
that,
familiar name.
they should either
Yes.
make a new engine or go with Unreal 4 because Unreal 4 has proven really versatile already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it
Yes.
looks
that
Yeah,
would
great.
probably be a better idea. Yeah.
In a similar way, Psychonauts is also made in Unreal 4, the new one.
Oh yeah, they're making
Which
a
one?
sequel, right?
The new Psychonauts.
Yeah, they're making
Oh,
a
okay.
sequel. And the
Yep.
Yeah,
fun
they,
okay.
they really post like everything that they're doing online in little blogs and
I-
updates. It's quite nice to see.
I never
I wonder if
got
Tim Schafer manages to stay on budget this time.
Wait,
Maybe.
who were the
Okay,
developers of
here's
Psychonauts
the
again?
thing. Here's the
Double
thing.
Fine
Double Fine.
Productions.
Oh, the
Um,
30 FPS guys. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
30 FPS, guys.
Yeah, the older ports
Uh,
are 30 FPS. Well,
Yes.
were.
Oh.
Yeah, locked, hard locked.
Yep. Hard lock to 30 FPS.
But I never got into Psychonauts, but one of my friends will not stop pestering me about it, so I'll have to look
Oh.
into that soon. But
Yeah, it's an
there's a
amazing
lot
game.
of
I'll start pestering you too.
controversy surrounding that game. Like you mentioned Tim Schafer. I know nothing about it, but I've heard things like negative
I haven't-
commentary regarding the man who made it. I'm not sure what it is,
Mhm.
but no, you guys never
I
heard
don't
it.
think it's really
haven't.
negative. I don't really think it's a negative thing about him. It's just Tim Schafer's notorious about going over budget or over promising something. I don't know if like he's the one basically that started off the Kickstarter craze for video games.
Oh
Yeah.
right,
Like for
yeah.
his for Double Fine Adventure, or which later became Broken Age.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Um, they
they get it like
they
$3
managed,
million dollars. Yeah.
yeah, and then basically they ended up needing about 6 million to
And-
finish the game,
Yeah.
something like that, because because initially they asked for like 300,000 to work on to make a fairly basic point and click adventure game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, suddenly they got 3 million and they expanded the scope to such a degree that they suddenly needed so much more time and more money to get it done
Yeah.
that they actually had to cut the game up in two pieces and then release
Yeah.
Broken Age Part 1 and Broken Age Part 2
I
as
myself,
separate games.
speaking of Kickstarter projects, I myself have been ragging on Star Citizen lately.
Yes.
I like Star Citizen as a concept. The problem is it has become feature creep the game. Like Robert, I've met the guy. He's a pretty cool dude in real life when you meet him. But I don't think he should be running a studio, which of course now he's not anymore. Like his brother took over and his brother actually knows how to finish games apparently.
Yeah.
Because we're finally getting content again. Like for 2 years or something, they were stuck at like alpha 1.0
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then finally now we keep getting a more incremental release, and it's getting there, but it's still just an overblown tech demo.
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
That was my
Check back in
issue.
5 years.
Yeah.
I haven't spent any money on it as well, except for like I think I bought the game like a few years ago. I just
you
bought a
bought
very
one
basic
ship.
package.
That's what you
I
told
bought
me.
one
Yeah,
ship,
I
and
think as
that was
well.
it. That was
I
it.
bought-
Just like one ship.
What I did was I'm one of the like golden ticket holders. Like I've got one of the I signed up for Star Citizen before Star Citizen was announced.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually, when I go to my hangar, there's a little like cupboard with a golden ticket in it. It's like, you were one of the first supporters, yay! And I backed it on Kickstarter for 24 euros, and I got an Aurora package, and that's
Oh.
all the money I've spent on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is
But-
sensible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just don't spend any more until there's actually
No.
content.
Yeah.
exactly. But back then my pledge does entitle me to like access to the alpha, access to the beta, access to
Squadron
Squadron
42.
42, Squadron
Yeah.
42, which I am actually. I don't care about the persistent universe at all. All I want is Squadron 42.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I love Freelancer, I love
Yes,
like
I
Wing
love-
Commander. I want a story like that with a space sim. I want that again.
Yeah, but wasn't that
And
an
Star Citizen is the
afterthought?
best. No. Here's the thing: the persistent universe was the afterthought, but then
Ah.
it became the focus because
So
they
the-
originally sold it
The
as Squadron 42. Star Citizen Squadron 42.
Ah, that makes sense.
That
and they
was
still
the-
don't
that was
have
the original.
that.
Nope, that's being worked on by the UK studio, which
Brit
we'll see how
Lagusa
far that
mentioned-
goes.
Lakusa mentioned Jet Set Radio Future. I've heard a lot about that particular game, but
Me
since
too.
we
I haven't played it.
I wasn't into consoles at all around that time, so I have no idea what it's like. I have the regular Jet Set Radio remake on Steam. It's a
Yeah,
pretty bad
Hmm?
port, pretty good game overall. That's all I can say, really.
but yeah, what my thing was about Star Citizen is they keep adding like insubstantial shit. I get the feeling,
Useless features. Yes,
yeah, I get the
Yes.
feeling they're losing focus, like bad.
they are.
Yes.
And then
Well, I mean,
they have the balls
they
to
did for a
beg for
while.
more money.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Like the constant like extra new ships that keep
Yeah.
coming out that keep
Oh,
costing
hey.
more and more money.
Here, pay us $2,500 for this piece of concept art that you may get to play in 3 years. Yay!
And then pay us $28,000 so you can have 1 square kilometer of vast emptiness and promises.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
people going
Fucking dumb.
insane about this entire thing, the entire game. And I'm like,
They got sucked into the hype. I know the feel. When I attended school on like in Dutch we call it MBO level. One of my closest friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my closest friends on there was like a huge fan of Star Citizen. I also went to my last internship with him, and all we ever did in his free time was like get hyped about the game. He would just participate in the forums, read the latest developer updates or whatever, the around the verse or whatever. He would just get completely sucked into it. He spent thousands and thousands of euros on that game. It's just absolutely insane.
and people are telling me,
Yeah.
oh no, but it's not DLC, it's not pay to win, because when you have a ship the size of a planet, you don't have the people to run it. And I'm like, you're just gonna get 40-year-old men in giant ships, and they'll just say, hey, who wants to be in my giant ship? And everyone would be like, and
Yes,
you'd
yes,
have
exactly.
gigantic dreadnoughts piloted
Especially
by
if-
lonely old men who wasted all of
Yeah.
their life savings on pixels.
Or just lonely old men being
Or-
friends with other lonely old men, and then just like all.
Or they'll
Yeah.
go like, "Who wants to pilot my ship?" And then the sound of crickets in the background, and then they can't drive their own ships.
Yeah, they'll have spent $40,000 and nobody wants to play with them because they're lonely old men.
That's harsh.
Well,
Mm,
or nobody
bit of a
wants
harsh way to
to
put it.
like work in the machine room while they can fly jet fighters.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think that's the main issue with a game of that scope, and then starting out with like a world destroyer. Like, okay, you
yeah.
paid $40,000 bucks.
Now what?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Because then, are you gonna pay your crew or something? Literally.
Yeah, like what? Because you don't get awarded in-game money. That's what someone told me. You just bind ships,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, the thing is, no. Here's what you do at the moment. If you,
you
buy
buy
one of those ships, you
concept
get
art. Yeah.
yeah, you buy concept art. But then once it's actually in the game, and once the persistent universe is actually up and running, then you have also bought lifetime insurance. So if that ship breaks,
Oh yeah.
you get a new one for free.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying all that money for,
But it's not.
and that's
it's
not play to win apparently.
No, it's not pay to win.
So
You-
you have a ship with god mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically
You're-
a ship with
you're,
God mode. Well, I mean, you'll probably
Well,
have to
not really.
wait a while before you get your replacement ship, but
Yeah. So if you crash your dreadnought into a moon, you just get a free one.
Or the sun.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
into
the
Did you
sun.
fly
Yeah, or
into
the
the
sun.
sun?
but it's not DLC. It's not. No. Don't worry.
no.
You can play a month and you can buy God. That's what they always tell me.
Yeah, here,
Oh yeah, you could play 2 weeks and then you can buy any medium-sized ship. And I'm like, what's a medium-sized ship?
Yeah.
Is that one of 20 meters or
It was
10 meters
or-
medium-sized.
200 meters or 2,000 meters or
it's-
20,000 meters?
it's medium sized. Okay,
Medium-sized.
It's medium
It's
Medium
medium
size
size.
probably means like an Origin 325A where you can like have two people in the cockpit
Yeah,
instead of one.
medium
That's like
size.
medium
And
sized.
then you have
I
large,
don't know.
which fits 50 people, but you can't get those. You need to get a
Yes.
medium size, or you can
Yeah.
pay for concept art now and have it forever.
Yeah, or until the game servers die, and then oh wait, I paid my life savings to play this game, but the servers are now dead.
I had this discussion with someone who is like very, very passionate about the game, and I said,
Hmm?
I think it's incredibly scummy that they even allow people to pay this much, even if they ask
Ex-
for it. It's not healthy.
Hmm.
It's not because
No one has paid this much for a game yet.
Nope.
Like,
Well,
like you have we were like back in the day. Rock and I were making fun about Train Simulator, but this is on another plane of existence.
Yeah.
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 By the way,
That,
full disclosure, I also work on my own space sim game, so
Yes, Sentinel.
I may
does
be slightly
space.
more miffed. I'm slightly more miffed at Star Citizen than the average person, but I
Yeah,
just
But like when I look
I
at your
really-
game,
I
it
really
looks
love-
like
yeah.
something. It's something I can touch. If I want to play it, I can go into there right now. I could pay the entry fee, and I could enjoy it for however long I want to, and it looks accessible. If Star Citizen gets released and I go into there will be tons and tons of people with ships bigger than my hometown,
Mhm.
and I'll
Yeah,
just
well,
be there.
Yeah, exactly. But to be fair, that's also true in my game. Like players who've been playing for thousands of hours
Yeah, but
already
they did
have
not
giant
pay
ships and
for
stuff
it.
like.
If
No, they
I
didn't.
started,
They had to
if
work
I
for that.
started
Yeah.
when the game launched, I would have
Yeah.
that now as well. I would have
Yeah,
worked for
it's
that.
true.
But they're just people getting into Star Citizen once it releases and just, oh yeah, I have biggest fucking ship.
Yeah. No, this is here's the thing with Star Citizen. Like we rage on the game and stuff, but it is gorgeous. Like I will not deny that this is one of the prettiest space sims that have ever been
The
made.
ships look gorgeous.
Yeah, they do.
because
The
I've
lighting is
seen
really nice.
environments and meteor belts, and they look like
Mhm.
ass.
It's fine.
The environments I've seen were perfectly fine actually so
Yeah,
far.
I-
The
I-
ones that I've actually been in.
I've seen someone fly
Yeah.
through an asteroid belt, and the asteroids looked like styrofoam, and this was last week.
I've
But
not
the
noticed
like
I haven't
the
that.
kept up with the
hangar
game too much.
interior is gorgeous.
Yeah, the
You know,
ship designs,
I
character
don't,
designs.
I don't
It's all
wanna,
really,
I don't want to
really
sound
great.
stupid, but it reminds me of Mass Effect 2 a lot. And
What's wrong with Mass
and
Effect 2?
Elite Dangerous. Well, just what it reminds me of, the graphic
Okay.
style, the high bloom, the bright
Mm,
lights.
Yeah, they're a fan
I
of
get
Bloom,
that.
Yeah,
as
bloom,
far as I
Hmm.
can see.
like bloom. Yeah, yeah. Vive Pro.
Mm.
Oh, God.
I have the next. Oh, here we go. I've been excited about this one since yesterday. Command and Conquer, guys.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
That's an
I
interesting one.
I
Yeah.
love Command and Conquer, and
Yes.
I am so disappointed that like Command and Conquer just mobile game.
Died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You don't like Rivals?
Yeah. That's EA
Players
games
like
for you.
that. That's the
Yeah, but
research.
uh, players, gamers have yet to recognize the platform, the phone as the future of gaming. So we're reintroducing Command and Conquer on the phone, so you can play a very dumbed down, stupid version of a franchise you once loved. Anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere you want.
I think that whole franchise really went downhill, like after Generals,
4.
basically.
No, I
No.
think after 4. After
Um,
after Command and Conquer 4. That's
so
when
Command
4
and
was still
Conquer
good?
3
it
is
really shot itself.
Command and Conquer 3 is really good.
It is.
Really good.
Oh.
I don't
I've-
think
I've
you
never
ever
played it.
played that one.
No,
And it has a
I only played
DLC
like
that makes the
Yeah,
game
3 was pretty good,
even
yeah.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
Kane's
With Kane's
Wrath.
Wrath. Yeah, that one was
Kane's
pretty good.
Wrath, I
Yeah.
have that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that much.
And then
Kane's
A
Wrath.
lot.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
DLC.
Is it like a Red
DLC for
Alert
Command and
game?
Conquer 3.
No, it's
No, that's
no.
Command and
It's
Conquer, like the
Siberian
original
Wars,
franchise, but
yeah.
then
Oh,
in
okay.
3D.
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I never.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
Never
it's
played
really
it,
And
cool.
you could they decided to stir things up within the Command and Conquer franchise, like the original one, because in the original you always had Nod and the GDI, and then they were like,
They threw in a new franchise,
we'll make the
faction.
aliens playable, and that was great.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That was
Exactly.
lovely.
that was fun.
But
Okay.
Yeah.
my favorite one,
And the aliens played like completely different from any
Yeah.
of the other races.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
really exciting. Just like the GLA in Zero Hour, they played completely different from the other factions.
Yep.
And I always thought the balance was quite well done. Even if you had like 3 giant factions with 3 to 4 generals each, of course,
Balancing was okay.
there were generals who were better overall, but depending on your playstyle, you could be whoever you want, and you could still have equally as much chance at a victory.
Especially if you like lasers.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the laser general.
That one was
It
awesome.
was pretty fun.
Oh, here's Lakuza, with Hospital and Dungeon Keeper, Transport Tycoon. Yeah, those games.
Oh yeah.
Planet Coaster is trying to recapture those games, but don't
And they're
quite.
making like a
they
new
don't quite make
hospital sim game
Like
again.
nothing.
heard that.
Speaking of
for
Dungeon
me,
Keeper,
Team Hospital.
Hold on.
Mhm.
I forgot entirely, but like you said, Roller Coaster Tycoon is a very good example. But what about Zoo Tycoon? and
Hmm.
Theme Park World by Bullfrog.
Oh,
Yes.
that one was
Yes.
awesome.
That is
With the
Never
my
played
freeform
any
roller
of
coaster
these.
thing.
that was my favorite game
That was
as a
like
kid.
you could ride roller coasters years before Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 managed to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, and it
Yes.
was nicer because everything
Mm.
was highly stylized and very
Yeah, it
appealing.
was
You
very
had
much
multiple
themed. Like
worlds.
you
Yeah,
had different themes like candy or space or some
Mm.
other like different theming, which made it
yeah.
quite nice to look at.
You had Jurassic World. You
Oh
had
yeah,
Halloween World. Then you had like the
yeah,
giant bugs and like fantasy, but more
yeah,
like
and a sci-fi
gnomes.
one,
And then
right?
you had the sci-fi. Yeah, but you needed to work really hard to get the sci-fi one because it has a very high golden ticket standard, and you needed golden ticket to open up new parks.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
it was
but
really good.
and then Planet Coaster is trying to do that, but
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard
it's
to
not
quite it.
recapture something like that. Like first of all, the environment, both software and hardware, is completely different.
Yeah, of course.
And then of course the times are different, the people are different. Like the way, like the amount of games that are out there is different. So it's kind of hard to recapture something after that much time.
Yeah, of
But
course.
they're
Yeah.
doing a valiant effort though.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying.
But
But-
speaking of Bullfrog, weren't they also the creators of Dungeon Keeper, as Lakusa said? But didn't they also create Populous as well? Another pretty old game that some of you might
They did.
recognize.
They
Populous.
did.
Populous is such a good game. I've
And
played
did they
that so
also
many hours as well.
made Theme Hospital?
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
same franchise as Theme Park World.
Yeah.
It even has the same font on the
Exactly,
box
like
cover.
Theme Park World and Theme Hospital.
Yeah.
Lakusa
Yeah.
mentioned Civilization.
Oh yeah, Civilization. I want to share something that you guys might find funny. Whenever a Civilization game comes out, it's very meager,
Yes.
and it gets gradually better as expansion packs and updates are released. One thing I'm not fond of is that they pack patches with a price tag. Things that
Yes.
are supposed to be fixed in the base game, you have to pay for them because they only get fixed by an expansion.
Hmm.
But Rock and I, we have a little term, and whenever a game gets released,
Yeah, like Stellaris is a really good
Civilization
example.
and Stellaris,
Yeah.
we let them sieve out, which basically means
Yes.
let all the content be created and then purchase
Yeah,
it at
wait
a
for a
very
later cycle.
very
Yeah.
low price once it's complete.
It's
Yeah.
the same
Just
thing
like-
you can do well for the Assassin games, because then like normally they start out a bit buggy, they don't have all the features yet.
Oh yeah.
And then if you get the game like
Yeah,
half
but
a
you
year
don't-
or
you don't
a
have
bit
to
later
pay-
after release,
You don't
get
have to pay a
everything.
shit ton after release with Assassin games. Like if you buy, let's take Civ 5, okay? You would have bought that for $60 back in the day, and then every expansion, which I think are 2 or 3, is
Two major expansions,
two
and they were
major
30
expansions.
euros each.
30,
30
so,
euros each, I
So
think.
you'd be done for $120.
Yes.
And if you let it sieve out, you can get it for 15. So that,
Yes.
Mhm.
Everything
Yeah.
for
That's
15.
the difference.
yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, let your game sieve out if you want to if you want to save some easy bucks.
Yeah, it pays to be patient.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Just don't go overboard. Don't be that guy who is only just now buying Portal and saying, "Hey guys, the cake is a lie."
Yeah.
I do get that. There's some people who are way behind, and that's not because they're old, but because they're just so out
Hey,
of
but
touch.
Companion Cube never will threaten to stab you, and in fact does not speak.
Look, that's a better one because that one's more obscure and hasn't strangled me. So I can
Yes.
appreciate that one.
Hmm.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, while we're on the topic of Portal, this one is not on my schedule, but I think we should discuss this. Valve.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's.
what's there to discuss about? They don't
let's-
really do anything.
What
let's
happens to a
start.
company if they figure out infinite money?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
They become
stop doing.
lazy.
Well, they're not lazy, but they're focusing on other projects like Dota and Counter-Strike and stuff like that.
You mean
That's-
they're putting other people out there in the community to work to create content for those games and sell them. That's what you mean.
Yeah, true, but they keep like
Because they
updating the game
don't-
and stuff like that.
They
I wish they'd focus more on the other games though, but
yeah, that's my issue. And I am glad Gabe Newell addressed this at the last Valve meeting. He said, I
Mm.
am envious of Shigeru Miyamoto because he can develop both great hardware and great games at the same time. That's what Gabe Newell said, and I was
Mhm.
like, so you do understand.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
understand.
But they just don't do. They just
They,
sit
they,
on
they
a giant
just
pile of money.
understand. Yeah, but
Yes.
and in the meantime, like writers are leaving, voice actors are dying,
scripts get burned and
level
thrown
artists
online out of
die
desperation.
leave the company. It's
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
sad.
Yeah. And
Mm.
they're
But,
not communicating.
Like, they mean well, and they're probably working on a lot of things that they never reveal.
Yeah.
But like, it would
But
be
like-
nice if they communicate
like
a bit more.
I
and
said,
just
I
let us
think
know.
the
Make
there's
more
a
Portal, guys.
there's a certain amount of secrecy that is acceptable
Yeah.
of a company, like a well-known company, because
Mhm.
I can appreciate secrets, I can appreciate surprises, but not
Mhm.
when I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Like
The thing is, what they did is they pulled a cliffhanger with episode 2 and then never got back to it.
yeah, that's also
that's
a really
the biggest,
frustrating thing.
Problem
Yes.
that they did.
And the script
if it
that
wasn't
did
a
get
cliffhanger,
revealed
if-
looked great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like if it wasn't a cliffhanger and they just went like, you know what, this is the finished story, but there might be more story,
Yeah.
then it's a lot easier to get. But now it's like this shocking thing happens. This other move has been set up, and the road ahead has been set to start.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like, yeah, we'll do it in less content and more frequently and for cheaper prices.
Yeah.
Except for the more frequent parts, they never
Yeah.
did that.
And it's not like they lack the money to develop single player experiences or the fan base.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's hoping that they actually moved offices, like they moved different buildings.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
might be that they are like trying to gear up for
Well-
like full-on game production. So to say, like with a product they actually intend to ship.
Even if I am sick to death with Half-Life because I played them so many times, I would not be
Mhm.
opposed to Half-Life VR. No, sir.
Well,
I think it's
I
already
already
playable in
played
VR with
Half-Life 2 in
unofficial
VR.
mods.
Yeah. No, actually, they supported it officially. Actually, back when the DK1 of the Oculus came out, I
Oh
played
yeah,
through the
yeah.
entire campaign in crappy VR. It,
Yeah,
it was
really crappy
nauseating.
VR.
It was nauseating, but it was worth it.
Nauseating, low resolution. You're tracking constantly desynced.
Oh, and
It's-
no translational tracking. Only
no
angle.
controllers.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
playing this with a mouse and keyboard.
That's my
These
issue
were
with
these were
Subnautica.
the early days of VR.
Like, Subnautica advertises itself as an Oculus game, kinda, you know, but it
Uh-huh.
has
Mhm.
no controller support.
Mhm.
You just have
Glorified
the
3D
headset.
basically.
Yeah, glorified,
It's just glorified
3D
3D at that
with
point.
nausea-inducing bugs that tilt your field of view.
Oh yeah.
That was
I saw that.
awful.
I
Yeah.
saw him play it. His whole view was just tilted like a thread. I think 10 or 20 degrees, just like constantly.
Ugh.
at one point, and he got really sick from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
a VR game. That's why I'm really upset because Oculus is pushing it really hard and they have it on their store page, but it's not ready. It's not ready.
And probably never will be
And
ready because at
no.
this point they finished the game and it's. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to be developing it anymore.
No.
So maybe for Subnautica 2, if that's coming. Who knows?
So if you plan
do it
on
from the ground
playing
up.
Subnautica, play it. Please play it on desktop for your own good.
Yeah. Play it
Yeah.
on a desktop with a nice monitor and a good speaker setup, and yeah, that's really nice. Soundtrack in it is really good though. Like there's a few
Yeah.
areas like when
Shame
you
he
get to
got
certain
fired.
deeper areas.
Mm.
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
that's also a thing.
Like why fire your like best audio designer?
Yeah. Oh, thanks
Like,
for the
let's fire the
astounding
composer.
work. You have a controversial opinion by.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
this big spicy one. Like it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they fire him, but I think there's like if one person in your company is constantly causing you like PR issues, then sometimes it is a better idea just to cut him off.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, but
true.
there's
'Cause-
PR issues and having an opinion that's not extremely left. That was it like there
Okay,
wasn't
yeah, okay,
there wasn't
true, but
immense
I think-
social justice overcast in that company.
yeah, fair enough. Like the thing is, this is at least what my opinion
It's
is.
not
like,
like
if
he
you're
he
as a
denied the
company, you
Holocaust
should
on Twitter.
never.
Yeah.
What? No, true. But here's the thing. As a company, you should never pick a political side or like
No,
an ideology
not left,
or
not right.
anything.
Just let as a
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Ignore any questions regarding it. Like
Yeah.
no
Yes.
comment or
You're a game
just-
company, not a political
and
party.
recently
Exactly.
Exactly.
it's been how game developers and Twitter. Recently something
Oof.
happened. Yeah, big oof. Recently a woman working on Guild Wars 2.
Oh yes, the
Any of you guys are up to date with this? Because that's
I've
a little.
heard something
else.
about it.
A
I'm
little.
not sure.
So that's this
Little, yeah.
woman, and she put out a tweet. I'm not entirely sure what she said, but someone responded to it. And she took the strong, independent female role, which was really uncalled for, and basically started cussing and getting really upset at community members. And then they fired her because she
Right.
was a dick to
No,
community
no,
members.
I think it wasn't just
Is
that
that
she
the one?
took
And then she
the strong
started to
woman
sue the
role.
company for harassment or something.
Yeah, she was
I
like,
think,
oh yeah,
I think that
yeah.
was the
That
one.
one. Yeah, I remember.
She
Yeah.
accused everyone of like everyone who criticized her. She accused every single one of them as being misogynists.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
No,
like
it's
you,
just-
No,
you,
you're just
you're
a
not
cunt.
criticizing me. You're not criticizing my argument. You're criticizing me for being a woman. That's
Yeah,
what she thought.
like
No,
like
no,
giant
no.
gender victim card, and I'm like, it doesn't matter if you have a dick or a pussy. If you are a good person, you are a good person.
Hmm.
And if you're an ass, you're an ass.
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly.
you can have a dick or a pussy, but you always have an ass. Don't be one. I'm sorry, people who don't have an ass.
This reminds
no,
me of Team America.
That's a funny one. That's a funny movie.
Yeah.
A bit,
But no,
Yeah,
at that
they
point, they
memes
just
that-
you just don't know how to take criticism. Like if you start every time somebody like if somebody starts criticizing your work and you take every single piece of criticism as an attack on you personally, at that point you just don't know how to take criticism, and why are you putting your work out there if you can't take criticism?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get it anyway, whether you want it or not.
Well,
And
I
you can
am
try and stick your head in the ground, but it's not gonna. You're gonna find it eventually.
I am all for social interaction with the fan base, but some people are
Mhm.
just not equipped to deal with that and
No, I
give your
completely
company
agree.
a
And like
bad name.
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So don't respond to those people.
No.
Like, I mean, complain about it to your coworkers or something, but don't do it in such a
No.
way that it goes out there and that it starts looking bad for your company. Because at that point, the company will cut you off. They will fire you
Yeah.
because
Yes.
you are more trouble than
have-
you're worth.
I have a really funny story regarding this.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to share it because it's unique.
Mhm.
All right.
It's
Go
unique.
ahead.
I used to work at this store.
Oh. Mhm.
Regarding political issues, I used to work at this store, and we were kind of a geeky store. You know, everyone's welcome. Be who you want to be.
Mhm. Yeah.
But the shop's owner basically started to turn it into some kind of kindergarten for people with mental problems. I wasn't on board
Okay.
with that, but things started to become funny for me. Funny in a very sad way. Like it wasn't really funny, but it was
Yeah.
baffling. So we had people of color, people with controversial sexualities and interests. And then came the wonderful idea of the manager's girlfriend to put Trump posters everywhere while we're a Dutch company. And I
Wait,
was
what?
like,
What?
yeah. And she also supported someone whose name's Geert Wilders, and he is absolutely retarded. While also being a safe place for people of color and homosexuals to talk to. She also supports two of the most racist and stupid political figures of this time. It baffled me, like to no extent.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Quick, sweet.
Yeah, short, sweet, good for parties. Oh yeah, the future of the podcast. Yeah, as people might have noticed, I rebranded the thing, got a nice logo, and we'll be continuing as the creators because it sounds nice and it's less contrived. We're going with a bit of an Art Deco style, which I really love, and my friends with me. Um, and we'll be streaming on Tuesdays and Saturdays rather than Mondays and Fridays because on the weekends we want to have guests who are not from Europe because that's the time zone's a bit of an issue during weekdays.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
So that's that. um, viewer questions. Well, we don't have a lot of viewers, but
No,
Oh, well.
not really.
if you have any
Um,
questions, do feel free to ask.
Yeah,
Shoot.
we'll be watching chat.
Yeah.
But wasn't this weren't we also I think I saw something on the planning about user-generated content in general.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
in
I
games like Minecraft?
completely missed that. Yeah, no.
Skipped it.
Let's talk about Minecraft. We have 20 minutes. We can do that.
Oh,
User
easily.
generated content. Yeah, Minecraft.
Mhm.
Please,
Yeah.
please start us off.
Me?
Yeah, you're
Alright.
the one playing
well,
Minecraft
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, true. I've been playing Minecraft pretty actively for the past couple of weeks. We just started to do server on one of the more popular recent mod packs, all the mods 3. It's like take all the mods you can find, put them in one big pack, try and make them work together, and it just works.
And
It's
then
just
number
fun. There's
3.
something for everyone, and then just play with your friends. Everyone can do whatever the hell they like.
Uh-huh.
It's fun. It's fun. I've actually
Nice.
been getting into Minecraft modding myself, making a little mod until I realized that someone else had already taken and developed my idea, so it's kind of put on hold for now. But to me, I just think it's amazing that there is so much to do within like the modded Minecraft community and other modding communities in general, and it's all free.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
yeah. That's
all free.
why Creation Club got such backlash.
Yes,
Paid
yes,
mods.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I
Huh?
can
Actually-
I can understand companies trying to
Oh,
support.
Creation Club. I thought like the Creators Podcast.
No, Creation
yeah,
Club,
no.
Bethesda Creation
Yes.
Club, and like
I got so
yeah, you
yeah,
got angry. I remember.
I got really angry. I got so angry about that they permabanned me from the Skyrim forums, and then 1 week later they reversed my ban. I don't know why, but yeah.
Okay, so basically,
It's not a very perma-ban.
I do
Yeah.
understand wanting to support people who actively produce like huge content packs for those games, like entire mods, entire like custom made DLCs. I understand that. But making me pay
Mhm.
$6 for a power armor reskin.
Nope.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah,
doing
the,
that.
Yeah.
the problem is what they probably should have done differently is when they started out, they basically gave a subset of people from the modding community like a 3 or 4 months notice
Yeah.
that they wanted to do that, and they needed they needed stuff to sell on their store as a starting thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead of having mods that take like 2 years, 3 years, and take like a multi-man team to complete, the only things in that store were like the things someone
Swords.
could throw together in a few nights if they're
Yeah.
knowing what they're doing.
Horse armor, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Horse armor.
Well, they technically did make horse armor as a joke, and then unironically, and then it just is in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Made
I
horsepower
remember a
armor.
few magic mods being in there, just really simple magic spells, Midas magic or something. They just put it in there just randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minecraft was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
Played
it-
that one.
Rock,
it
Rock
amazed me.
very religiously plays Minecraft every year
Played.
during the summer.
Well, yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. Every summer, me and just about every friend I can find, we get together, we choose a mod pack, and we just play the hell out of it during the entire summer break.
and then you get like
it's
2
back
months,
to work or back to school.
and then people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, well, whatever, that was fun," and then
Yeah,
you go
exactly.
back to life, and then the next summer,
Yeah.
start again.
Yeah, but it's
Nice.
ridiculous how much mods can increase the longevity of a game. Because I've been playing
definitely.
Minecraft
That's
I've been
not
playing Minecraft
ridiculous.
since alpha.
I mean, Doom. People are still actively making mods for the original
For
Doom.
Doom, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's insane. I mean, if it wasn't moddable, it wouldn't even have anywhere near the same amount of interest right
No,
now.
people would
It's
be
just
like,
amazing.
"Oh, it's Doom. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's one of the first really popular shooters." But no, you can basically do anything. Anything. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, modding is something very important. A lot of games like to lock away all their assets. Wait, sure, I understand. It's assets. People paid for it. But like, even if you like, think of a game like, I'm gonna take Prey, the new one. No modding. No modding, but it's very. It would be very, very nice to be able to mod that.
To be fair, Prey doesn't really lend itself well for modding because first of all, it's CryEngine, which
I did not know
doesn't
that.
really
Never mind.
help with the user friendliness. And the systems in there are probably very intertwined because they need to make it run and make it all efficient. Especially these days, like games are very much like this complex mesh of links and connections and
Layers.
stuff. And
Yeah.
so just trying to add something isn't as simple as just making something with a file that you plug in and it just works.
I know that's
Like it needs to be connected to all these different intricate systems.
Yeah.
Yes.
But some games really are set up to be modded. Like for instance, Minecraft.
Fallout.
or even
Fallout,
this
Skyrim.
VR chat.
VR chat. The
Yeah.
Yeah,
like they
in a way, yes.
put modding in the groundwork of the game, or at least they thought about it during the development.
Unity has really blown my mind over the past few years. Like
Mhm.
back when
Yeah.
Unity came into the scene, I was like, oh, it's the new game maker basically.
Yeah,
But
that's what I thought as
Yeah.
well. But that's
But-
all it was back then, right?
that yeah, exactly. It was game maker, but
Yeah.
more complex. And now we have
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still more a fan of Unreal, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
They have
Unreal
different,
is really good for games.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have different roots though, because the thing is, like, Unreal came from a game that was developed, and more developments were put on top of that, and on top of that, and on top of that,
But
and
The thing
by
is,
this time you have basically an engine with a pedigree of like over 20 years,
yeah.
Yes,
Um,
and still
but
very
then-
moddable as well.
and it's still under construction at the moment, selves even. Yeah, but like the thing is, Unity, it's a fairly new engine, and it's actually made by people who wanted to make a game. Like, it's not by game developers who had this thing laying around and adapted it for users to be more friendly, but this one was made by people who wanted a tool to make a game with.
Yeah,
So it's a different
Mhm.
type of approach.
and Unity also
Because
handles.
Unity doesn't have like its origin game, basically, like
No.
its game where it came from.
But
Yeah, like Unreal has with Unreal.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the thing with Unity is that it handles 2D very well.
Yeah, even that is a pretty recent addition because when I remember working on that when it just came out, and it was just kind of tacked on there. I mean, in a way, it still kind of is. Like the Z plane still exists. It's just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Unreal Engine. They also have like the 2D support embedded in it.
Mhm.
Because Cuphead was
Yeah.
made in Unity, right?
Oh, it was.
Yeah, I think
I
it
mean,
was.
maybe.
That
I
doesn't
don't have
surprise
too much
me.
knowledge about that game. It doesn't surprise me indeed, but that must have been pretty difficult,
Yeah. And
Mhm.
I
especially
think
because it's all animated by hand.
Lacusa can attest. Animating in Unity is not what it's meant for, but it
Yeah,
works.
yeah. It
Like if you
kinda works.
put a shit ton of work in it, you can do really impressive things.
Yeah, but that's with
Unity is
any
more for
software.
importing
Like,
animations.
it's not
Yeah.
about the tools. It's about the
I'm
stuff you do with
I'm
it.
gonna call it Western MMD.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I usually only work with MMD assets, so it's a bit of a stupid joke.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Blender is probably better for just animating in general, or just like
Yeah.
any 3D modeling program or
Yeah,
program meant for
I still do think
animation.
Blender is incredibly unwieldy.
It is,
Mhm.
but it's free, so everyone's using it.
Fair enough.
And I tried 3ds Max and it kept crashing on me. That wasn't very good either.
You guys use Maya,
That's a
right?
unique thing. I use Max and Maya and Blender
Oh, okay.
all through each other. Mostly Maya and Max though.
I haven't tried Maya
Here's
yet.
Maya.
The only version of Maya I have is stored on an old Unreal Tournament 2004 disc. I think it came with the Editor's Choice edition or something. It's like a weird trial version.
I remember that one. That's actually also came with tutorials from Maya. And
that's cool.
that's the thing. That's when that came out. That's when I started to learn how to model.
I looked
Through
at
that
it
DVD
now.
that came with that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Which
actually
when I
Unreal
pretty cool.
started-
tournament did it came with?
Full.
Unreal Tournament
2004.
2004. It's a
Yeah,
special.
2004.
They called it an Editor's Choice edition. That came with a few more map packs, but it also came with like Maya or some weird trial version of it.
Oh,
Anyway.
nice.
Yeah.
You-
I only got like the big box version of Unreal 2004.
Yeah, same.
There was
6
another
CDs,
version.
memories.
Exactly.
You know
So
what?
many CDs.
What bothers me? The people who made the ballistic weapons pack, they made a new game.
Oh, yes.
Viscera cleanup detail, and while it's incredibly fun, I still cannot grasp why they did not make a shooter. because the ballistic
Yeah,
weapon
because
tech is outstanding. It's the best,
yeah, it's
probably one of the best mods for
for those of
2004.
you. Yeah, for those of you out of the loop, ballistic weapons is like a mod, a really comprehensive mod for Unreal Tournament 2004. Adds an insane amount of weapons,
And
a
they
new
all
weapon
work
system, new weapon
flawlessly.
handling. It all works really well. It's a really it basically turns it into an entirely different game. So the company's called Runestorm. They tried making a game and they ended up with Visera Cleanup Detail, a cleaning simulator of all things.
Which is incredibly fun with friends, but it's
Yes, it
not.
would be even more fun in VR though.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, Visera Cleanup Diesel would be great for VR.
Yes.
Cool.
But yeah, we still haven't heard anything from them beyond that. And Visera has
Hmm.
been, well, done. I say done, but they kind of updated, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's
Mhm.
very underwhelming compared to the things I've seen from them. Like, it feels like a waste of effort.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, that's another thing. We talked about Killing Floor earlier, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they started out with their own user generated. They started out as a mod
Yeah.
for like Unreal Tournament 2004.
Yeah, but
And it's pretty incredible to me how they just formed their own studio and made a complete game. This is a standalone game, which was a lot like the original, but like even better.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do miss the scary part though. I told you
Yeah,
this
the horror
before.
part.
It's not.
Yeah, the
it's
mod
not.
was a lot grittier.
Their portal thing that they did during the promotion of
Yeah,
Portal 2.
but that map is great. But
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
won't reintroduce it,
No.
Yeah.
which is a shame because that map is really good.
Yeah, they would rather spend all their efforts on making new maps rather than porting old ones because it's the same amount of work.
Yeah,
Which I get.
Was the Portal
I
one
doubt
on Killing
that.
Floor 2 or 1?
2.
One.
Oh, no,
It was
one,
the aperture
yeah,
map.
one, yeah.
One.
Not the
Yeah.
mod.
Yeah. I think the only special thing about that map is it's portal themed. There was a huge wallable door with a lot of weapons behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was partially made
And it was,
with
of course, the
assets
Easter egg.
from Portal because it was also Source, right? Killing Floor 1.
Yeah, there were
no,
a lot of these games
oh.
from the ARG where they basically had actual assets and models from the
Oh yeah,
upcoming Portal game.
with the golden potato stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
that
was
exactly.
brings
amazing.
back memories.
But
I got
Killing
it.
Floor is Unreal Engine. Killing Floor 1 is basically the invasion game mode from Unreal Tournament 2004, except the monsters are zombies and there's a trader time. That's it.
My issue with 2 also is it's too predictable. Like when I play Killing Floor 1, you never know what's gonna happen.
The spawns are too predictable in 2. That's a good point actually, because it was like you knew that in the last wave there were gonna be 2 flesh spawns at some point. Good and all.
Yeah.
But like in Killing Floor 2, you can predict when everything's gonna spawn and
because
how and where.
Yeah, there's like huge spawn queues, like big loud noises whenever a big monster spawns. And in Killing Floor 2, they just show up. In Killing Floor 1, they just show up, and you'd be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
they were,
guys, there's this Craig.
For some reason, they were a lot more intimidating because everything feels like, they don't really intimidate
You were slower.
me
You were slower in Killing Floor 1, and you were not able to outrun the large sets. You are in Killing Floor 2.
Yeah, and they die easy, real easy. Yeah, and to make up for that, they try introducing new enemies, but up until now, they haven't really, well, impressed me. Like they don't really add anything.
It's slow, but it's getting there.
Yeah, well, I hope it ends up like the first one, good, because right now it's like even though we come back every time to check out the new content, we don't really stick around. Like Killing Floor 1, we'd play every week.
Yeah.
Every week. Multiple times. While that game was much less advanced, had less weapons, less levels, but somehow I just had a
It was
lot
just more
more
fun.
fun.
It was
Yeah,
more solid. It was more solid. That's true.
yeah. I don't know why though, because
Hmm.
the new game definitely isn't bad, but it can't grip me like the old one did.
I had the same thing with Payday 2 when it just came out. We
Yeah,
played Payday 1 like crazy. Payday Heist,
yeah,
super
yeah,
fun
yeah,
game. Really, I can really recommend the Payday games, by the
yeah.
way.
I can really
Um,
recommend the first one and the second one
yeah,
if you have friends.
yes. But like the game we played Payday the Heist like all the time, and then
Yeah,
Payday 2 came out, and we basically stopped after a few weeks. I think lack of
yeah,
content.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think. I think
The
that's
the
mostly been
beta
solved
the
because they have a
beta
lot of
period
content
the
now.
beta period with Payday 2 was rough.
Yes, it was.
I was constantly sending files back and forth with experience and money gain to help balance it out, because especially once they introduced weapon costs and stuff like that, they had to balance the money you got from a heist around a weapon,
Yeah, yeah.
and you had the difficulties.
I remember getting $500 from 4 stores, whereas the larger assault rifles costed 300,000. That was not good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was really fun helping the game become what it is now. My own personal issue with the game, however, is how it kind of ditched its own lore in sake of content.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, we'll just introduce these meme characters, or we'll just do this weird movie stuff, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
like it. I'm not opposed to it, but I like I'm really lacking the very polished, streamlined Hollywood vibe that the first one had.
yeah. Same, same.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like, oh yeah, this is a mission. Have fun. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel like you're in an
and not like
action
Panic
set
Room.
piece. No.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's I don't know what it is. It could have been because of the filters. I don't know. I mean, the filters might have been a part of it. I remember
No, well,
them ditching those.
you
Oops.
despite pre-heist planning, you don't really get the feeling you're involved. I think that's the
Hmm.
issue.
Yeah.
And the bag thing, I've never been too big on the bags.
I don't know what. Sentinel, have you ever played Payday?
No, I haven't.
Ah, okay.
Well,
Well, I mean, I know Miss Stabby has, but yeah, we're not too fond of the back throwing mechanic in general compared to
yeah,
Payday the
yeah.
Heist.
What do you think of the bags?
The bags?
Yeah, the
Yeah, just like
bags
the back
in
throwing mechanic
Payday
in
2,
general.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm okay with it. No objections, I guess.
Fair enough.
Because I know you're stealing all this money from the bank, and you have to throw money bags back and forth. But at some point, it just becomes like just hold
Tedious.
F, press G. Yeah, it
Yeah,
becomes tedious if there's no opposition. It's just like going through the motions.
yeah, yeah. But it does, like, I don't really mind it as much as I did at first, but some of the heists just have so many bags, and they're not really
Those are
rewarding.
mostly older heists, what we call the Gold Farb era,
Gold
just
Farb
like
era.
CrimeNet.
Yeah, yeah.
No offense to the man, of course, but
No.
he has made some questionable design decisions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Questionable, but not bad. Like right now, the game is pretty good, and you can get like
Yes,
all the content for a fairly well for a good
low
price.
price. Yeah, I say wait for a sale, just grab it all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotta take
Because
it.
because it is what it is right now. It is a very solid, very fun, very uh replay value heavy, uh, and
Yes,
probably one of the most versatile co-op shooters out there right now.
and it's also moddable,
Yeah,
which is a
yeah.
plus.
There
I
are
mean, there's a part of the modding that is officially supported, like texture replacements, model replacements, sound replacements. There's also Lua modding, Lua scripting, which isn't like officially supported. It works. It's there. It's good. It's fun. I like making mods and I like playing mods. Added a
yeah,
lot of replay value for me.
yeah,
So yeah, that's also something to consider.
yeah. So, is there anything else you guys want to say? Anything else you
Not
guys would
really.
like to talk about, or could we wrap it up?
I think this is a good point to
Yeah,
stop.
I
Yeah,
think
I think
this.
this is a good point to
Yeah.
stop. Well, thank you guys for watching. It was very fun. I had a lot of fun. And we'll see you guys Saturday.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
See you.
Bye.